Hello guys, today we will present about aviation terminology. So let's see what terminology we have for everyone to learn. For the first one, an accompanying minor. It is the service for children who are 5 to 14 years of age, flying by themselves without an adult effort to guarantee the safety. The procedure of the unaccompanied minor travel, the child will be with ground staff until boarding the plane and then hand over to the cabin crew. During the flight, cabin crew will look after the child. For the seats of the child is on the last row of the aircraft are reserved for unaccompanied minors. When arrived to the destination, the ground staff will take care of the child and hand over to the person whose name is mentioned to pick him or her up at the airport. The adult will be given documents such as passport, boarding cards, receipt, or baggage claim. Example from Finnair: student tickets plus the unaccompanied minor service fee, which are £40 for flight within the country, £60 for flight within Europe, and £120 for long flights.
Next to our second topic is child and infant. How do we fly with child infant? Let's see. Infants are classified as being less than 2 years old, traveling on a parent's or guardian's lap. Infants aged under 14 days are not allowed to travel. Only one infant is allowed for one adult. Example from Finnair: an infant ticket costs 10% of adult ticket fare. An infant does not have own seat aboard. Child is classified as being between 2 and less than 12 years old. Child are not allowed to travel alone. A minimum age of 18 is required to travel with. Example from Finnair: child ticket discount 25% of the basic fare including fee and tax. Special service such as the bassinet for baby, car seat, and baby meal can be served at the time of booking or at least 24 to 48 hours depend on airline before departure. What document required for infant and child? For document required for infant is child passport or child birth certificate, and documentation required for child passenger age above 7 years old require ID card or passport.
Non-revenue space available, and if I say shorten it, NRSA, benefits allow airline personnel to be added to the standby list of eligible flight without having to purchase a ticket. Non-revenue standby passengers are added to the bottom of the standby list and will only be allowed to board the plane if unauthorized seats are available. Non-revenue passengers are passengers who are not producing revenue for the airline. Voluntary passenger: when a flight has more passengers who are ready to fly than their seats are available, airlines must ask passengers to give up their seat voluntarily in exchange for compensation. Before bumping anyone involuntarily, airlines may offer passengers incentives, such as money or vouchers, to volunteer. There is no limit to the amount of money or vouchers that the airline may offer, and passengers are free to negotiate with the airline. Paid volunteer work: become a short-time job by getting a money or compensation that cover all related expense, such as accommodation, meal, and payment. When deciding to volunteer seat or are involuntarily forced to give it up, they can negotiate for their best bet or insist to get money instead of compensation. Example of compensation for voluntary passenger, quoting from Air Canada: the airline will rebook a new flight to destination for passengers as soon as possible. Communication channels access: refund unused portion of the ticket. Passengers may accept the compensation payment in the form of travel vouchers. Provide accommodation or hotel for overnight waiting. Free food and beverages in reasonable quantities based on waiting period for the next flight from time of the day and location.
Standby passenger is someone who buys a ticket if they are still available on a plane just before it is about to leave, rather than booking in advance. The common circumstances for them is a passenger who not booked on the flight but waits to see if there is an extra seat after all. A passenger who missed flight requires a passenger to fly standby on the next flight to the same destination. A ticket passenger requests to stand by for a class upgrade. Air traffic controller providing flight information services and alerting services to ensure safe, convenient, and expeditious air travel. Personnel responsible for the safe, orderly, and expeditious flow of air traffic in the global air traffic control system, usually stationed in air traffic control centers. Air traffic controller receive information about flight and reports to the pilot, to radar, advice on weather conditions, to permission to take off or landing, to change altitude and direction, and also give airport workers permission to move around on the tarmac and runway. Air traffic controller work for Ministry of Transport government.
And now we have come to the last part of the presentation. We are about to show you the video of air traffic control.
People probably don't realise how enormous the role of air traffic control is. It's essential to keep aircraft safe and ensure that there's an orderly flow of aircraft into and out of airports. Air Services Australia works with the airlines. They have direct communications through our National Coordination Centre in Canberra to keep each other up to date on current events and weather that may affect operations.
I think the job lends itself to people that are quick thinking.
It's sort of like a puzzle, like a 3D puzzle.
It's complicated and complex.
There are 3 different positions for air traffic control. There is the tower controller, there's approach controllers, they look after the aircraft arriving and departing, and then there's en route controllers who look after the aircraft once it's in cruise. For my role as an en route air traffic controller, I set up the high level aircraft from 40,000 feet. I assign them descent to 19,000 feet and give them the standard arrival route into Brisbane. Once they're commencing their descent, I hand them off to the approach controller.
An approach controller is responsible for managing the traffic that's within a 30-mile radius of Brisbane. There's overflies and transiting aircraft, and everyone wants to use the airspace at the same time. It tends to be a bit of an overs and unders game. Given the approach, we hand them over to the tower controller.
Brisbane Tower operates 24 hours a day. We don't have a curfew, so we still get international traffic come in. Aircraft call us on final, and once the runway is clear and it's safe to do so, we clear them to land.
It's only actually through all of us doing our job together that it actually happens so seamlessly.
There's maths behind it, you work in a team.
No 2 days the same. It's quite challenging.
That's part of the reason why I love what I do.
Air Services Australia and BAC work hand in hand together, and we couldn't do it without each other. As a manager, I really enjoy helping my people. They're really great people to work with, and it's also rewarding to see people arriving at their destination safely and seeing those reunions as well. It's really great.
Thank you to all those who listened. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye bye.